is 100 meters.
The best sports anime of all time. Hear me out. The best sports anime of all time. If you haven't watched this movie, this is your sign. 100 meters. It follows two sprinters, Tomiya and Kogashi. These two young sprinters, we follow their whole career, and I'm telling you, it's a masterpiece. The storyline, the animation, bro. Even the teachers in it, like the masters, Zosashi. It's insane. The storyline's even better, but the animation is unique. I've never seen it before. I think it was like first of its kind, really. But these two sprinters, Tomai and Kogashi. So Tomai is a super talented kid. He's in 6th grade. There's Japanese sprinters. They're in 6th grade. They're sprinters, and he's the fastest in his school, faster than mostly every 6th grader, probably in Japan. And Komashi is a slow. He just transferred to the school, doesn't know anyone, and all he knows is he doesn't know how to deal with his feelings, so he just runs because when he runs, it hurts, and he forgets about his pain and what he's dealing with inside. And Tomai, being this super talented athlete, everyone loves him. He's super popular, has all the friends, everyone that loves him, and he loves this guy Komashi, bro. And it's insane because like usually that doesn't happen. I was thinking he's gonna be the arrogant one. He was gonna be the one that's trying to bully. Like most likely what they usually do. Like he was actually a great friend to Komashi, bro.
100-meter dash faster than anyone else. Can solve almost anything.
Like you don't get that ever. That dynamic. Tomai is so goated, bro, for what he did, bro. Especially being that young and knowing how to act that way, having that character in him. So Komashi is basically just wants to learn how to run just like Tomai. He's like kind of looks up to him because how fast he is. Wow. And he basically takes him under his wing and starts training him, bro. So he's like, this is how you get faster. You just can't just keep running. You can't just do that. He shows him how to do some techniques, blah, blah, blah. And they finally, towards the end of the childhood, they race each other multiple times throughout their life, bro. But as a kid, this is the first time they ever run each other. They're at a train track. They're running. Tomai is beating him, of course, because all he knows how to do is go 100% out. He doesn't know how to take a chill pill. He goes all out all the time. So they both running, and they're going, but then Komashi start going dumb way and start running crazy. Beats Tomai for the first time ever, but he falls, hurts his leg, and he's like limping away. He's limping away, and he tells him goodbye. And he thinks he's gonna see him back at school the next day, but he never comes back. They move somehow in their family. They just move away. They just move away the next day. He never sees the dude ever again until high school. So now they're in high school. Tomai kind of gave up on sprinting because of his last meet during his junior high. He didn't do so good, so he felt like all the pressure of being so good. He kind of like gave up track, went to this very obscure high school that barely had any, like literally 3 people on their track and field team. And the girl convinces him to do track and field again. She convinces him to do track and field. He does track and field again. He does a sprint for her. He just said, can you do one sprint for me? He does that one sprint, and then he falls back in love with sprinting. So they start running. He starts competing in high school, competing really well. This is his first year. And Komashi, so now we have to see Komashi now. Komashi basically was living in the mountains pretty far away. He had to bike 2 hours to get to this really prestige school that has a lot of athletes, really good at this school. And he joins the track and field team. First time ever, hasn't done any formal track before. And he's running, but he has a good start. When he runs, his start is always really good. But then towards the end, he slows down because he basically has like this limiter in his head where he just feel like because he hurt his leg as a kid when he went all out, that he just can't go all out towards the end. So he always loses towards the end. And this guy who's one of the best high school track stars named Zaitsu, I'm saying his name right. He comes and he gives like a speech to the kids, just like, motivate them, because he's from the high school alumni, but he's like a really high level track athlete. And I love Zaitsu, bro. I think he's amazing. If he wasn't in this movie, I wouldn't like it as much, because his quotes hit so hard, it makes you want to run through a wall.
Don't think too deeply. Society's a joke. And even if you do win, keep attacking. That's it.
The way you should live your life, bro. My favorite one, I'm going to show it here.
I am a living thing. I will die, never to be born again. That's my motivation.
It's just insane, beautiful masterpiece, bro. Literally, I'm a living organism, and I'm going to die one day and never be born again. That's why he goes so hard, because he's like, bro, I'm never going to be here ever again. I have this one chance to do something with my life, so I'm going to do it. Then Komashi asked him for advice. He gave him advice, and that changed him. Gave him this advice to overcome his anxiety.
Anxiety is a feeling one gets when one challenges themselves. One must sacrifice something for victory. Then give up your body because it's just a collection of cells. Glory is forever.
I can't say enough about this movie, bro. It's amazing. And that's like the first 30, 40 minutes that you see. And then later on, Tomoshi and Kogashi, they get to race again, right? They're in high school now, they get to race again. And Tomomi always been faster, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you. Like, this is mine. And he's like, okay. And Komashi smokes his ass, bro. Smokes him. Literally, they're in the rain. That scene went crazy. The sprint in the rain went crazy. Like, amazing. It was one of my favorite scenes. And then 10 years later, so now they're all professionals, right? They're professional track stars now. And Komashi is the best, like, young rising star. He's competing with Zaitsu, the dude who literally gave him this. Like, they're like competitors now. And Tomoshi is basically bottom of the barrel. Not really bottom of the barrel, but he's basically scraping by, barely making the cut, right? But he low-key has the most talent. The untalented kid rolls to the top, and the talented kid didn't. And he this is his last contract. He has to do really well this year. If he doesn't, he's not going to be able to be a track star anymore. And so he's competing, doing good. Then he starts really getting really good. It starts actually finding his groove again, right? Now he qualified for the World Championship for Japan. And he makes the team, everything, and he gets injured in practice. And Arrow telling him, like, yeah, if you don't compete, you're basically just going to be a coach. Your career's over. That's it. You know what I mean? And that hit him hard, bro. That hit Tomoshi hard, bro. Because he's just like, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want this. And he goes to the park. This part hit so hard, bro. He's at the park chilling. There's these two kids, just like as reminded him when he was a kid with training Komashi. And he's like, he gives him advice about sprinting, right? And then he just tells him, he just started giving him more advice, and he starts crying. Like, literally crying. And it was the best. I just haven't seen the way he cried. It was just insane, just tearing up. The kids felt obviously awkward, like, dude, we gotta go. And he stays there all night crying. And then when he raises up, his face turns demon mode. Like, he knew what he was gonna do. I'm sprinting, I don't care. Goes out there, gets a good doctor to help him recover, and then he started winning matches, right? Winning these world, because he has 3 races to do. 3 races to make it to the world, to win. That's it. That's all he had to do was 3 races. Wins both of his races, qualifies. Even Komashi, he qualifies for his things too. But there's a moment where him and Zaitsu meets again, and he's like, dude, Zaitsu's like, damn, feels like not that long ago for me giving you that advice as a kid. And he's like, obviously Komashi was very thankful, and then he was like, And then Zaitsu gives him this other subliminal advice about saying, like, being number one is just like being in last place. Like, that view of just how you see, like, there's no one by you. Like, and he's like, what's really about track and field is about not the medals, not the wars, not the even the records. It's really about who you're racing against. And Komashi didn't want to hear that. He's like, no, I don't care. That's not me. And when he races Zaitsu in that race, because he thought he was going to beat him, which he did beat him, he loses to another guy, the second best guy. The dude who's always called second best. And Komashi can't deal with it. He's like, dude, I lost to a guy who doesn't think the way I think. And like, what is the point? Like, then he meets Tomoshi again, and they're talking like, what is the point of track and field? What's the point of running this meter? And Tomoshi's back to when he was a kid, man. Has the mentality about, if you run the 100 meters all out, it can change your life. Crazy, bro. It was insane. He was just like, enjoy, like running all out is fun and you enjoy it. And he's like, Komashi's like, I've never had that feeling. And then boom, the final race comes. This is for the gold. This is for gold, bro. And they're running. Boom, they're running. Komashi slips out the break. Like, the shot was amazing though. He slips out the blocks, comes in. Boom, boom, boom. They're running. Everyone's tied up. Komashi's kind of winning a little bit. The older guys coming too, but Tomoshi and Kogashi, now they're running side by side, and the old guys looking back at them and shit. It was kind of a cool view. And then the best part was like, they're running as adults, right? Boom, 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 boom. They're running, and then it switches to them running as the first time they ever ran each other when they were kids. And now they're like the silhouettes when they're kids, and it was so like, it was so cinematic, bro. Perfect. And they're running now. They're back as adults. And you can see Komashi and they're smiling at the end. They're like getting towards the end of the race and they're smiling at each other, like happiest they've ever been. And boom, the movie ends. They don't even show you who wins. Like, that was my favorite. I kind of got a little salty when I first watched it. I was like, I wanted to see who win. But it was about them enjoying their passion more than who won, actually. It looked like they tied, actually, but I think they just tied, and maybe they tied gold, and it would be kind of, you know what I mean, like, weird to end it that way. But bro, it was amazing. Like, this movie's amazing. Like, I literally think it's the best sports anime I've ever seen in my life. Like, there's obviously not a lot, but this tops the cake. Like, it has a better storyline, like emotional draw to it than a lot of the animes that dropped that 2025 movies, because it's not about action. No one passes away here. No one like has powers. This is literally just about regular kids, regular athletes sprinting, and it makes it so emotional, so impactful, inspirational as hell. Zaitsu, man, he's so inspirational. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Even his retirement speech was amazing. But if you haven't seen it, this is your sign to watch 100 meters.